What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TEW Confrontational, episode number 46 of TEW Confrontational. My name is Ty Workentine with my little brother, Evan Workentine. And back at you with episode number 46. We're going to recap week 16. We had a lot of good matchups, a lot of playoff implications in place and everything with these matchups and all that good stuff. And we'll preview week 17, go through our picks and all that good stuff. Let's just jump right into it. On Thursday last week, the 21st, we had one of those playoff implication games. The Rams hosted the Saints and ended up beating the Saints 30-22. And so Rams looking good in the NFC. They got a spot in the wild card, sitting at 8-7. And the Saints also in the NFC. They're in the hunt there at 7-8. Matt Stafford with another almost perfect game, throws for 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Kyron Williams goes off for another 100-yard game, and Puka Nacua with 164 yards receiving and a touchdown. So yeah, just the overall dominant performance from the Rams, and pretty much had this one in the bag the whole way. Saints made a comeback in the fourth quarter, but wasn't enough to knock off the Los Angeles Rams. So
yeah, and we were actually recording, so that game didn't count towards our record. We were recording during the game. This past week, I know what I went. I'm not. You know what you went? I went 12-3 this past week without including that game.
Yeah, 13-3 with that game you went. Your overall record, I just put that in there. The Rams pick, just because we both had the Rams and we knew that before the game even started. But you're at 153-87, and if you don't count the Rams game, you're at 152-87.
Yeah.
You saw the board well this week. You went 13-3, pretty much had every game right all the way until Sunday afternoon when the Cowboys played the Dolphins. You were perfect all the way until pretty much halfway through Sunday. And then I went 9-7, had a couple, hopefully some upsets in there, but none of them panned out. I was at 138-86 heading into this week, and now I'm sitting at 147-93. So you got about a 6-game lead on me throughout the picks with only 2 weeks left. So we have 17-18 and stuff like that of the regular season. So hopefully I can make up a couple games these next couple weeks. But yeah, you're looking good heading into the last 2 weeks of the season. Rams got the dub in Los Angeles and everything. They were partying after that, making the wild card and everything like that. So they just got to keep winning. We got a couple more games left. Let's see who they play. They play the Giants on Sunday, and then you have the 49ers to end the season. So hopefully win against the Giants and then a loss against the 49ers, probably in theory. And then they're probably still sitting pretty solid in the NFC wild card and everything like that. So overall good win for the Rams. And then we had a couple of Saturday games this week. The Bengals and the Steelers, another playoff implication game where the Bengals traveled to Pittsburgh, the Steel Curtain, and ended up getting beat by the Steelers, which you picked the Steelers, but after their performance last couple weeks and all that good stuff, and having Mitch Trubisky as their quarterback and the way Jake Browning's been playing, I picked the Bengals on the road. But yeah, it wasn't near as close to the game as I thought it was going to be. Steelers end up winning this one 34-11. George Pickens went off in this game for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
and then the Steelers they had their third string in.
No, it wasn't Mitch Trubisky.
It wasn't Trubisky.
It was Drew Lock, not Drew Lock.
No,
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. So they didn't have the same. They didn't have Trubisky in.
Yeah, right. I remember that now, just with Rudolph, because it was Christmas weekend and everything like that. So we thought that people were saying, well, if you have Rudolph on your team, you're for sure going to get the dub. So Mason Rudolph ended up throwing for 290 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and the line protected him pretty well, and they had 1 sack for 6 yards. So solid win for the Steelers, which keeps their playoff hopes alive in the AFC. So both those teams, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, are both sitting at 8-7. So
and they got a tough game next week coming up. Steelers, they play Seattle in Seattle. That's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, it's always tough to play in Seattle, and then they have Ravens to end the season, so that might be 2 losses back to back. So they for sure need to at least try to sneak in a win there. But yeah, just looking at the playoff pictures and everything like that. We'll go ahead and take a look. Yeah, so Pittsburgh's sitting at 9 right now, and only 7 teams make it. Colts, Buffalo, and Cleveland moved up into the wild card. And Houston is a little bit, it has a tiebreaker over Pittsburgh based on head to head. So Houston beat them head to head. So yeah, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Las Vegas, and then Denver. We'll talk about them, but they're benching Russell Wilson for the rest of the season and everything like that. And they only
Mm-hmm.
have like an 8% chance of making it anyway. And they need to win out and have other teams help them out too. So Steelers still alive in the AFC for the playoffs, but looking tough to end their season on that schedule and everything like that. Um, so yeah, good solid win for the Steelers though at home, and all that good stuff. Beating a division rival, it always feels good, especially at home. So
For sure, for sure.
all righty, and then going to the next game, the Saturday night game, you had the Buffalo Bills heading to Los Angeles with a new interim head coach and new GM and all that good stuff. Yeah, Bills end up getting this one, barely squeaked it by the Chargers, which I said it was going to be a close one. I almost picked the Chargers,
Did yeah.
but Bills end up getting the dub in this one, 24-22 in Los Angeles. Yeah, yep. So Josh Allen had 230 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. James Cook didn't do much. Either did Stephon Diggs. This was kind of a yeah, not a good matchup. I mean, it was a good matchup, but the stars of the teams didn't perform as the stars. Gabe Davis was the one that really balled out for Buffalo with 130 yards and a touchdown. But
Yeah.
yeah, Chargers almost get the win in this one, but Bills squeak it out 24-22 on the road against the
Yeah,
Chargers.
this is what's his name? Stephon Diggs' ninth game without 100 yards receiving consecutive.
In a row, yeah. So he
And
balls
prior to
out the
the
first like
start of the
4
season,
weeks. Yeah.
balled out and then just kind of a slump. But I don't think he's complaining. His team's looking pretty hot right now, going into the biggest part of the season. Um, so if they're getting wins, I mean, it's time to
Especially
ball out
yeah.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, especially with that win a couple weeks ago against the Chiefs. And then you had that win against the Cowboys. So back-to-back huge games, and then barely squeaked this one out against the Chargers. But then they played the Patriots next week, and then the Dolphins the final week. So they got another game against the Dolphins, which Dolphins are looking good.
Mhm.
They just beat I forget the Cowboys. So I mean that
Cowboys
was a
by two,
statement
I
game
think it
for
was.
them. So yeah, solid win for the Bills, keeps their playoff hopes alive, and they're in the wild card now with that win, and everything like that. So, Chargers, I think they're eliminated now and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
good season for the Chargers, but yeah, I don't think they're
Terrible,
gonna.
no, terrible season for the Chargers.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. Bad season for the Chargers, but this was a good game for the Chargers. Came in close to
Yeah.
almost get the dub against the Bills, but yeah, solid win for the Bills. And then on to Sunday, you had the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Atlanta to face the Falcons. And Taylor Heineke was the starter here, so they benched Desmond Ridder again and started Taylor Heineke. And yeah, they end up pulling this one out. And they end up winning and beating the Colts at home 29-10. And so Falcons are sitting at 7-8 and Colts at 8-7. So Falcons still in the hunt for the playoffs. But they're one of the bottom teams there in the NFC, right above the Packers, just because in the head-to-head matchup, the Falcons beat the Packers like week
Hmm.
4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So but yeah, all teams still, and this is like the most teams since like 2008 or something like that, where
That's
there was still like 20 plus
yeah,
teams in
going into week
contention.
17. Yeah.
Yeah, 20 plus teams still in contention for the playoffs. So,
Hmm.
pretty fun season of NFL, and uh, no team is like standing out as being dominant, except for maybe the Falcons, or not the Falcons, the Ravens now, just because they put a whipping on San Francisco on Monday night on Christmas Day. So,
Yeah.
but we'll get into that one here too. But solid win for the Falcons. They needed that one for sure, to keep their playoff hopes alive and everything like that. So Colts sitting at 8-7, Falcons at 7-8.
And the
And yeah,
Falcons play the Bears next week, which should be a good, it should be a good game.
yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be a good game. There's not, yeah, both teams aren't the best, but they have some explosiveness as far as like wide receivers and running backs and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So,
Yeah.
Could be a good game. Kyle Pitts got a touchdown as well, so that was good to see for Kyle. Um, and then yeah, not much else to say about this game really. Um, yeah, you got anything to add for this one?
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, they're both. Yeah, it's both still in it. I mean,
I
I
guess
guess good.
Jonathan Taylor was back for this game. Didn't do
Yeah,
much, but had a
yeah,
touchdown.
yeah. So now they're. I mean, they're both still in it. I mean, they got 2 weeks to they and they have to both win out if they want to even a chance to make it. So I mean, and that's for a lot of teams. A lot of teams are going to have to win out. I don't know. Like you said, there's about 20 teams still in conversation. I'd say 15 to 20 of those teams do have to win out. There's got to be certain type of scenarios that have to play out
Right.
for teams
Teams
to
have
make
to lose. They have to win, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a long
it.
shot,
Hmm.
but they still do have a shot.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates got his sixth interception of the year, so he's tied for second, uh, behind Bland and everything like that for interceptions, and all that good stuff. So, I mean, yeah, solid win for the Falcons. They actually put up more than double figure points and didn't just kick field goals the whole time. So
Hmm.
I guess, a plus side or a silver lining for the Falcons. But yeah,
Yeah.
solid win for the Falcons over the Colts at home. And then you had the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Will Levis gets knocked out of this game. Um, and Ryan Tannehill started this game. Will Levis got knocked out of the game last week.
Last game. Yeah.
But yeah, Seattle going to Tennessee, get the dub in Nashville, and then they end up winning 20-17 there.
Hmm.
Yeah, Geno Smith was back instead of Drew Lock,
Yep.
but was still able to come out on top. They actually came back being down like 17-6 or something and scored 14 points in the fourth quarter to make that, and they ended up with a game-winning touchdown. That's like the first time since different quarterbacks, have thrown a game-winning touchdown in NFL history, like back-to-back weeks throwing a game-winning touchdown or something
Yeah.
like that, which is pretty cool stat. Kenneth Walker didn't do much this game, but yeah, Seattle was able to take this one on the road, which was a big game for them, and yeah, that helps them with their playoff. They're in the wild card and everything now too, so big win for Seattle on the road against Tennessee. Kind of fun. Derrick Henry throws his like sixth career
Touchdown
touchdown
pass.
pass or something like that. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool play. And also had one on the ground as well. So yeah, Derrick Henry doing Derrick Henry things, but wasn't enough to knock off Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, you're rolling through these games. I picked the Bengals and the Colts. So those are my two losses for the first couple games of the week 16. And then we had the next game, the Lions traveling to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. And yeah, it wasn't a solid game. It was fun to watch, but those four interceptions from Nick Mullins definitely hurt us.
Yeah.
And the Lions clinched the NFC North for the first time since like 1993 in the last 30
Hmm.
years or something like that. So yeah, solid win for the Lions, and yeah, we had them on the ropes. We were coming back, but yeah, it just wasn't enough to knock out the Lions. So yeah, pretty sweet for the Lions. They're the brand new Lions instead of the same old Lions. It feels like, even though yeah, they feel like a roller coaster of a team there. You got a couple wins and then a couple bad losses and things of that
Hmm.
nature. But they're sitting at 11-1. Wish the Vikings would have pulled that out, but the Vikings are sitting at 7-8 after that loss to the Lions. So still in the hunt, but it's going to be tough. It's one of those things where we have to win out, other teams have to lose, things of that
Yeah.
nature. So,
Absolutely.
and we have the Packers this week, and then we have the
Minnesota.
Lions the following week. So tough end of the season. So hopefully we can get at least one of those dubs. Hopefully both of them sitting at 9-8, going into the postseason, and hopefully with those two divisional game wins, we can sneak into the playoff, the wild card, and everything like that. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, tough with those four interceptions. I mean, if we don't have those four interceptions, we win this game easily. But yeah, Justin Jefferson with 140 yards and a touchdown, so he's back and at him. And then Jordan Addison had a good game and everything like that too. It's just those damn interceptions. But
Yep.
yeah,
Got to take care of the ball.
definitely got to take care of the ball. But yeah, we were throwing the ball. I think we only had 17 yards on the ground total.
Yeah, I think Mullins had like 300. He's had like 3 or 4 back-to-back games with over 300 yards passing.
Yeah, he had
like
400.
six consecutive games, like in his career that have been over
Right.
300 passing.
Yeah, so I mean, he can throw the ball and we can sling the ball, but if you have four interception, doesn't really help. And then our
No,
line let up four sacks and everything like that. So yeah, and then yeah, Jordan Addison I think got hurt this game, and then he goes out concussion. TJ Hawkinson tore his ACL, so he's
yep.
out the rest of the year. KJ stepped up though and had some big catches and a touchdown, but yeah, it just wasn't enough, man. Tough loss to the Detroit Lions. Thought we were gonna have that one, especially early on in the game, but yeah, tough loss for the Vikings there. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, we won't go much into that one because it wasn't a dub, but yeah, Lions moved to 11-4, Vikings at 7-8. Vikings still have some hope for the playoffs, but it's not looking great. Yeah, and then we had the Washington Commanders traveling to the New Jersey to face the Jets. And yeah, the Jets blow like a 27-point lead or something like that, 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and let the Commanders come back. But Jets pull this one out.
Win
Trevor
by a field
Simeon,
goal. Did
what's
they win
that?
by a field goal? Well, they win by
T
2 points.
30-28, yeah. And
Okay.
so yeah, Washington was coming back, but they went on a so Washington was up at the end of the
Yeah, I
at the
did
end of
see
the
that. Yeah.
game. It was like 28-27 at
Yeah,
the
they
end of the
were.
game, and then Greg Zerline kicked a 54-yard
Mhm.
field goal with 5 seconds left to
Yeah.
clutch that W. So
Yeah.
yeah, solid win for the Jets. Don't think they have any playoff hopes, but either do the Commanders. So this one was just for pride. And yeah, Trevor Simeon was starting at quarterback this game, and yeah, got the dub. Brees Hall did his thing, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also had 96 yards through the air. So he had pretty much had 200 yards, 200 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns. So pretty
Hmm.
much the Brees Hall show for that game. But it was enough to pull off the victory over the Commanders. So and then yeah, Packers at Panthers. They survive a rally by the Panthers at the end of the game there, and pull this one away 33-30. Um, yeah, I mean it's still early in Jordan Love's career, but he is showing some signs that he can sling the ball
Oh yeah.
and then can make some big plays happen for the Packers. But yeah, I didn't want to see this one 33-30 for sure. You wanted to have a statement game and put like
Oh,
33-10, but
I mean, a statement game versus the Panthers really wouldn't have mattered. We just need the W, keep us in the conversation. Jordan Love, yeah, I mean, he has 27 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions. He's up there with, and he's top five quarterback right now as far as touchdowns, interception ratio, especially touchdown passes. I think only the other one up there is like 30. I think. I think he's tied with like what is it? I think Josh Allen and those guys. But he's got signs of Aaron Rodgers and he's clutch, make clutch plays. But yeah, winning by three. I'll beat up 14 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Never thought it would come down to that. But it is what it is. We got the W. We got the Vikings, like you said, in Minnesota next week.
yeah,
Followed by
which
the
should
Bears. If we win out, I know this. If we win out and the Steelers lose to Seattle on Sunday, 96% chance that we're going to make the playoffs. So that's a good sign. We just got to do our job and win some games. But I could see the Steelers losing to Seattle, and yeah, I could see the Packers winning both those games. But we'll see.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, last 2 weeks, there's a lot of playoff implications and everything like that. Patrick Taylor gets hurt in this one early in the game, and he's usually your touchdown scorer. I mean, he scored like 6 straight touchdowns in the last 6 weeks. But you got Aaron Jones back. He looked healthy, ran for 130 yards. Yeah, and like you said, 200 yards for Jordan Love and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Um, so yeah, there's that, and then also Jair Alexander gets suspended for is it the rest of the
Yeah,
season or just one game?
one game for going in for volunteer, going up as being as a team captain. And
Yeah,
we
he
were
went out to
chosen.
the coin flip, yeah,
Yeah,
and almost fucked it up. That's what I heard.
yeah,
He almost fucked up the
he
play.
did,
The
but actually, it actually worked out in our favor that we did defer the first half and got the ball back the second half. The ref kind of helped him out because he said, "I want to be on defense," and he's like, "You mean defer
yeah,
defense? They would have had to kick both times." Um,
no.
yeah,
If they chose to kick,
okay, so
then
I was talking about it, or they were talking about it on the Pat McAfee show. say I want to be on defense, like that's all you say, they're expecting you that you want to be on defense both times. If say you have to defer because they won the coin toss, so I
Yeah,
defer.
so
But he said I want to be on defense. I want to
so
be
that
on
would
defense
just
both sides.
that would just be implying
No,
that you're kicking.
they were
You want to
talking about
kick
it.
off.
Pat was saying it. D-But was saying it that there's certain things you can say because the refs aren't going to help you out. But luckily, the refs helped out Jair and said like, "You mean defer?"
Yeah.
They're NFL players, bro. They know what they're
No,
talking
I'm
about.
not disagreeing. I thought if you chose to be on defense, that means you kick the first half, and then that automatically guarantees you a
Okay.
reception on the second half. But if you defer, you get a choice of either kicking or receiving the second half. If you defer your
Yeah, and he said
option
he wants
until
to
the
be on
second half.
defense. He
Yeah, for
said
the
I
first half.
defer, and he said I defer and be on defense. So that would be like I defer. I don't want it the first half, and then second half I'll be on defense again.
Yeah, who
I'll
knows?
be kicked twice.
But yeah, tough loss for the Packers. I mean, he's been in and out this whole entire season, but he is a big part of the defense and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a confidence booster by any means, this win for the Packers, but does help the record and keeps their playoff hopes alive. Um, but yeah, so solid win for the Packers. They moved to 7-8. And the Panthers at 2-13. And I think you said if the Steelers beat Seattle,
Oh, if
then
the
you
Steelers lose to Seattle, and this if we beat the Vikings, they lose to Seattle. It's all up to us. We don't have to like depend on anybody else to make the playoffs. It's all up to us to beat the Bears and make it.
why if the Steelers lose,
Dude,
Steelers don't have anything in your
I'm just going off of what they were talking about on ESPN, Pat McAfee's show.
you sure if Pittsburgh
No,
needs to beat Seattle,
no,
that wouldn't
no.
make any sense because why does Pittsburgh losing affect the NFC? They're in the AFC.
So, but Seattle's already made it, haven't they? Aren't they a wild
They're
card
in
right
the
now?
wild card, yeah. So
The
if they
sixth, aren't they
lose
in the
and you
sixth spot
win,
though?
no. So if you win, the Packers win, and the Seattle Seahawks lose, then you guys will be both at sitting at 8-8. So you don't want the Seattle Seahawks to win.
Okay,
You
all
want
right,
them to lose as many times as possible by the end of the season.
okay,
Steelers don't have anything to do with your playoff picture besides beating Seattle Seahawks. So
okay.
maybe I think you just got it mixed up. But yeah, so Packers playoff hopes are still alive, but they are at the bottom there in like 11th position behind
Yeah, but
Atlanta and everything
we'll
like
jump
that.
up if
So
we beat you guys. If we
yeah,
beat you
for
guys head
sure.
to head, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but yeah, solid win for the Packers. Not a blowout by any means, but it's still a solid win. And then you have had the Cleveland Browns heading to the Houston Texans, and Joe Flacco does it again, throws for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did have 2 interceptions, but main character of this game was Cooper or Amari Cooper with 265 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, one of the biggest performances I've ever seen from a wide receiver at 265 yards, which is pretty nuts. Had like 52 fantasy points and everything like that. So yeah, solid win for the Browns. They're for sure making the playoffs, I believe. Sitting at 10-5, and then Houston still in the hunt for their playoff hopes, but they fall to 8-7 in the AFC. So yeah, 36-22, Browns take that dub. And then, yeah, Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper connecting for 265 yards, basically only threw 100 yards to different receivers rather than Amari Cooper. So, yeah, solid win for the Browns. They moved to 10-5, and Houston falls to 8-7.
Yeah.
You got anything to add on this one?
Nope, I kind of picked that. I mean, Joe Flacco's gonna bring him probably pretty deep into the playoffs, I would think. So I don't see
Yeah,
them losing at all
yeah.
until the playoffs.
Was a been a solid like past 3-4 weeks for Joe Flacco. So if he can keep it up and keep that presence available, and just stay calm and limit those turnovers, I think with this defense especially, they have a solid chance. Their defense is scary on the Browns side of things. Uh, so yeah, Amari Cooper sets a franchise record for 265 yards in a game, and yeah, that was basically it. It wasn't really much of a game. Rather than that, Texans did make a comeback in the fourth, putting up 15, but yeah, it wasn't even near enough to knock off the Browns. So solid win for the Browns there. And then you had Jacksonville Jaguars, who are struggling, um, heading to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield red hot. And yeah, Buccaneers get their fourth straight win, and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 30-12. Um, yeah, Baker throws for 283 yards, only missed 9 targets, and throws for 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yep,
Um,
Baker had another game.
yeah, and Trevor Lawrence gets uh, hurt during this game with a concussion. Um, and he just got off concussion protocol, gets hit again. So we'll see what happens with him. I don't know if he's going to be playing the rest of at least, yeah, next game. I don't think, especially just coming off getting released from concussion protocol, then gets another one. I doubt
Yeah.
he'll be playing next week, but he hasn't missed a start since like high school. So
Nope.
we'll see what he does. But a solid win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Baker Mayfield just slinging the ball and yeah, 4 game winning streak. Pretty impressive. They're sitting at 4-7 before this 4 game win streak. Now they're at 8-7. And
Yeah.
they're ahead of their conference, and so they are number 4 in the NFC playoff picture. And Jaguars actually fall out of the. I think they still might. Let me take a look. Can't remember if they fell out of their playoff spot. No, they're still in 4th, but they do have Houston right behind them, Colts right behind them, Bills are right there. I mean, Bills aren't in their division, but still, they have the Colts and the Houston Texans right behind them, and then the Raiders are still looking good too. But yeah, so yeah, tough loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think they're on like a 3 or 4 game losing streak. Yeah, they're on a 4 game losing streak. So they have the Panthers and the Titans next 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens with them. There should be a dub against the Panthers, but who knows? So all righty, and then we have, let's see, what do we got here next game? So we just talked about the Jets and the or the Jaguars and the
Jags
Bucks,
and
and then we have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Chicago to face the Chicago Bears. Um, yeah, wasn't really much of a game. Jackson or Chicago was up 21-7 at halftime, and then it was just kind of a slow motion game after that. But Bears pulled this one off 27-16. So Bears moved to 6-9. Cardinals fall to 3-12. Yeah, wasn't much for this one. Justin Fields had a rushing TD and a passing TD. Khalil Herbert looked good. I know they've been having some running back controversy. They've gone through 3 or 4 running backs while Khalil Herbert was out and all that good stuff. But Khalil Herbert is back and healthy for 100 yards and a touchdown. Cole Kmet also had 100 yards and through the air and everything like that. So solid win for the Bears.
Bears are on
Don't,
playing pretty well after this. Like the second half of the season, they've been playing pretty well actually.
yeah. I mean, the
Just starting wherever they
Bears
were.
had a. I mean, they're a good team. I just think they had a few injuries. I know Justin Fields was hurt at the beginning of the year. Khalil Herbert went down. Things of that nature. But yeah, they beat the Vikings and the Lions, and then lost to the Browns, and then beat the Cardinals. So they got the Falcons and the Packers to wrap up their season. So hopefully they can get a couple more wins, especially against the Packers, because that'll definitely help out the
Yeah.
Vikings chances and everything like that. But I don't think Bears have any chance of making the playoffs. I think they've been eliminated here. Yeah, so they're sitting at 12th at 6-9, so they still do have a chance.
Hmm.
If they win out and then all these other teams lose, they still have a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's probably like an 8% chance or something like that, but they still do have a chance. Alrighty, what else we got here? So we just went over the Bears and the
Cardinals. So I think next up
Cardinals.
is Cowboys and Dolphins.
Yep. So yeah, Dallas traveling to Miami to face the Dolphins, and yeah, this one was a statement game. A must win, not a must win, but yeah, a must win for both teams. Would have helped out a lot. But Dolphins pulled this one out 22-20. Yeah, and the last second field goal to secure the victory and a playoff spot for the Dolphins. Um, yeah, what do you got on this one?
I didn't think either team looked like a Super Bowl winning team. Kind of a shitty game, low scoring. Yeah, I guess you could say there was good defense, but neither of these teams looked like Super Bowl even contenders,
Right.
which is unfortunate. I think, yeah, I mean, after watching that game, kind of changes. I mean, I could see Ravens and 49ers in the Super Bowl. like they did. We had to have that game. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's just I wasn't a fan of the game, and it kind of sucks just to have the Cowboys lose in the last second field goal. But the way it goes.
Yeah, it's the way the cookie crumbles, man. And yeah, Tua throws for about 300 and a touchdown, Dak 250 and two touchdowns. I think the thing that Dallas is missing is a running game. Tony Pollard has been non-existent these past couple weeks. And then yeah, seeing Zeke on the Patriots hurdling people for touchdowns and things kind of makes you think if Tony Pollard was a better secondary, not getting as many touches, than having Zeke being the workhorse. Because yeah, Tony Pollard was averaging like 10 yards per reception and like 6 on the ground when he was backing up Zeke. So
Also,
I
it
don't
could
know.
have been that 1-2 punch takes a lot of weight off your shoulders, like you said, being that second option. But I think Zeke also is playing a lot better than he has the past few years. Just having that little extra motivation of, getting cut by Dallas and going to play for New England. And I
Yeah.
mean, look at their record. Look at New England's record. Not very good. They got 3 wins or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, but they need run game.
Yeah, I think that's what they're missing for sure. Because I mean, CD put up another 120-yard performance and a touchdown. I mean, Dak's playing well, and still no interceptions and everything. I think he has like 10 touchdowns in the last 4 games or something like that. So I mean, their offense is clicking. They just need a run game, I think. And I think Tony Pollard will step it up once he hears all this chatter in the background. I think he'll um, lower his head a little bit more and run over some people and try to be aggressive like he was last year and a couple years prior to that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, Tyreek Hill has a 100-yard game. Wasn't his best performance, but yeah, still cracked 100. They're not didn't quite crack 199, but I think he has
close
what
enough.
I think he needs like let's see here. He's at 1641 for yards, so he needs 359 more yards in the next 2 games to crack 2000. So we'll see what happens here. They play Ravens next week, so I
Yeah,
doubt he
it's
gets 150, 160 yards against the Ravens. But yeah, Dolphins' schedule to end the season is tough. They got like I said, they got the Ravens next week, and then they have the Jaguars. No, not the Jaguars, the Bills to end the season. So
yeah.
Ravens and
I
Bills
don't
to
think
end
he's
the
gonna
season. So
unless he just balls out both games, and he's got to
yeah,
ball out both games.
needs to
Get
needs
that
to for
record.
sure. And then yeah, Tua just has to take care of the ball and all that good stuff. And I don't know. I like the Dolphins. They've been playing pretty well. I mean, what are they sitting at? 11-4, up there with the best records of the season. And they have a statement game next week against the Ravens. So if they can pull that one out, who knows? Well, we
Yeah.
might be having a different conversation next week. So and then yeah, so good solid win for the Dolphins, 11-4. Cowboys fall to 10-5. Both have playoff clinch. So they don't have to worry about playoff spots, but yeah, just would help a little bit more if if Cowboys can secure that division over the Eagles. But I don't know if that will happen, but we'll see what happens because yeah, Dolphins are yeah. And then we have the New England Patriots traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos on Sunday Night Football. Um, yeah, another game-winning field goal from Chad Ryland. Um, yeah, to send the Patriots over the Broncos, and yeah, tough loss for the Broncos. Yeah, their playoff hopes are down to like 5%. So yeah, they benched Russell Wilson for the remainder of the year,
Mhm.
just because for financial reasons and stuff like that. So if he gets hurt these last 2 games and doesn't pass his physical in March, they owe him 35 mil.
Mhm.
But if he doesn't get hurt and does pass his physical, none of that is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So you'd have to, yeah, perform well and do all that good stuff. So it is smart, especially with that 8% chance of making the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it. But who
And there's
knows?
a
But
lot of word around the street that they're not even gonna. They don't want to give him all that money. They'll give him his guarantees, be in the hole, um, and get rid of him.
yeah, exactly. So they might
Something
be
always.
might be releasing him here next year, but we'll see what
Also, they could
happens.
just be trying to save money for not as big of a cap hit this coming
Right.
year. Who knows?
Add
But
players, move players, things of that nature. So,
yeah,
but yeah, Patriots get their fourth win, and yeah, we mentioned it. Zeke hurdling players for touchdowns,
hmm
and then Bailey Zappi's been playing well. He might be the new starting quarterback in New England from here on out,
yeah,
and
it
Mac
looks like it.
Jones might have his job taken. So, Yeah, solid win for the Patriots. They 26-23. They moved to 4-11. They're eliminated, but Broncos sitting at 7-8. Like I said, they have like an 8% chance of making the playoffs after that loss. But yeah. And then moving on to Christmas Day, Monday, we had three games, which was fun. Um, and then we had a big one to start the day at noon o'clock. You had the Las Vegas Raiders heading to Kansas City and giving the Chiefs like their third or fourth loss in a row.
I believe it's
Um,
their
oh, they beat the Patriots last
they
week,
beat the
so
Patriots last week, so
but they
they've
lost
lost
to
three
the
out of their
Pack.
last four.
Yeah, lost three of the last four, and tempers are high, emotions are high in Kansas City. Everyone's frustrated. You saw Patrick Mahomes against the Bills calling out the refs. Then you see Travis Kelsey throwing his helmet on the ground. Yeah, it looks like it might be the end of a dynasty. Um, yeah, if they get knocked
I
out
don't
of the
know.
playoffs and stuff like
I don't
that,
think they're going to be knocked out of the playoffs. I think they're gonna. So I think they're still leading their division.
yeah, they are. They're right. The Raiders are right behind them, and then they have the Denver Broncos and the Chargers.
How
So not
many
a
how many games are they up on the Raiders?
two.
Okay, so it's going to come down to, I mean, yeah, obviously the next two games, but I don't think the Raiders are going to catch them.
No, I mean, Chargers or not the Chargers. The Chiefs have the Bengals next week or this
Hmm.
week, and then they have the Chargers, their final
Yeah, so
game.
they should
So,
win at least one of those games, you'd think,
yep,
but who knows?
especially. But I know the Chargers always play the Chiefs well, so who knows? Especially with their performance the Chiefs had last week, who knows what can happen? So yeah, a lot of crazy games coming down to the wire. They're not crazy games, but the season's coming down to the wire, and you're gonna need to see some crazy games. And one game's gonna switch the whole entire playoff picture.
Oh yeah,
Um, so yeah, solid win for the Raiders. Their defense looks solid. Smoking cigars in the back of in the locker room with Max Crosby and all those dogs on the Raiders. Yeah, and Chiefs look sloppy, frustrations are high, things of that nature. So,
and that
um,
interim head coach was that D'Amico Ryan. Is
yeah,
that I think he's
yep.
going to probably be their after that big win. They were kind of saying that like if
Not
they beat the
D'Amico,
Chiefs,
not
what's
D'Amico
his
Ryan.
name?
D'Amico Ryan plays or is coach for the
Texans. Yeah.
Texans. Yeah,
Who is
this
this
one
guy?
was Adrian something.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think maybe
yeah. I'll just look it up. Raiders.
head coach.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce, yeah, but they were saying that if he won this game last week, that his chances of being the head coach next year for the Raiders was going to be, you know,
Skyrocket. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So I think he's going to take over. They've obviously played good underneath of him. I think they're what 5-4-2 or 4-3 or whatever
Something
it is.
like that. Yeah, since he's taken over. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So, I mean, solid win for the Raiders. Yeah. And Chiefs are falling apart. Hopefully they can get a dub next week. But we'll see what happens there. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, Chiefs, like Travis Kelsey said, we were basically Santa Claus last week and basically brought the Raiders a gift of a victory and
mhm.
everything on Christmas. So yeah, tough loss for the Chiefs. They fall to 9-6. And yeah, Raiders keep their playoffs hopes alive, and they moved to 7-8 with this victory on Christmas Day. So yeah, solid win for the Raiders.
Yeah, and their backup's looking good. I mean, that
Aiden
backup
O'Connell, yeah,
he might be
not
their
bad.
starter too, just like Bailey Zappi's going to be the New England hopefully, or maybe yeah, he could be the Raiders' next starter. So
Exactly. All right. And then your next Monday game at 3:30 on Christmas, we had the New York Giants traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Yeah, it ends the Eagles three-game losing streak, but didn't look too promising there. But Eagles do pull this one out 33-25 at home.
yeah, and it
Um,
it also ends Tommy DeVito's run for fame or whatever his 3 game or 4 to 5 game um, fame because he did get benched in that game,
yep.
um, and I don't think he'll probably be a starter. I think Tyrod Taylor's a lot better.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, they came back and ended up putting 15 points up in the third quarter and then 22 in the whole second half. So I mean, yeah, Tyrod Taylor looked like they gave him a boost of speed, confident. And we said this last time when Tyrod Taylor was playing, looked better
Mm-hmm.
than Daniel Jones when he was out there. So, yeah, Darius Slayton had 3 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown for New York. He led the game in receiving yards and everything like that. AJ Brown had 80. Devontae Smith had 80 and a touchdown. But yeah, you had that pick six early in the second half for the Giants, and honestly, I thought the Giants were going to make a comeback the way they were attacking the ball and everything. I for sure thought they were going to come back and beat the Eagles on Christmas, but they had like a weird thing towards the end of the game, if I remember correctly, where they could have uh, won the game, but they were running out of time towards the end of the game and they had like a clock management issue. They didn't have any timeouts. They threw a pass
Mm-hmm.
over the middle.
Bad, yeah, bad time management.
Yeah, they could have had a chance to go towards the end zone, but I don't know if it was I don't know if it was bad time. I just didn't think they were out of timeouts and stuff. They couldn't have any. Yeah, I suppose that is bad
That
time
is,
management when you
yeah.
waste your timeouts. But yeah, but Eagles get this one on Christmas Day, 33-25. They move to 11-4. Giants fall to 5-10. But yeah, like I think that Tyrod move would be a good move, especially just to end the season, see what he can do. And then yeah, have a quarterback competition next year with Daniel Jones, Tommy
Mm-hmm.
DeVito, and Tyrod Taylor. But
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just don't think Tommy's going to be. He might be in the conversation for a little bit, but and I also don't think. I think Tyrod's a good backup, but I just don't think you put. I mean, Danny Dimes making almost $40 million a year. I don't think you have him sit as a backup. I think it's just. I
yeah,
think it's
with
a
what they're
dumb. It was a
paying
dumb
him, yeah.
decision. It was a dumb decision to pay him initially that much because he didn't really prove much.
All right.
Um, and then yeah, now that you're seeing like two backups are outplaying him. I know he's hurt, but backups are outplaying him. So
Yeah, they did go to the second round of the playoffs last year, though. Giants did, when
yeah,
their
yeah.
overall win total should have been like less than 7. I think they were sitting at like 6.5 last year for total wins. And they ended up going like 9-7 or something like that, and beating the Vikings in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, solid win for the Eagles. They needed that win to snap that losing streak. Um, yeah, couldn't come as a better time than on Christmas Day. So,
Right.
uh, yeah, good win for the Eagles. They moved, like I said, 11-4. Giants fall to 5-10. And yeah, Eagles looking a little scary. Because yeah, I don't think they're going to be beating any team in the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl, like the 49ers, Cowboys. I think Cowboys got their number if they play each other again.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings are a tough play if they make it. I mean, Seattle, Rams. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't. I
Seattle.
see. I see a tough road for the Eagles trying to get out of the NFC in the playoffs. So, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, solid win for them this game. And then who do they have left the rest of the season? Let me take a look here.
The Eagles.
Cardinals and the Giants. So
Yeah.
they probably two dubs. But we also said that last week should have been an easy dub, and they ended up losing to the Seahawks. So I mean,
Yeah.
we yeah, we've had these hiccups with the Eagles last half of the season where it's like, I don't even know if they're gonna even win this one and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I
So
mean, yeah. Both teams that made the Super Bowl last year are having major downfalls towards the end of the season, which is not good. But I'd like to see a different two teams in the Super Bowl, but we'll see.
yeah, and those two teams could potentially be the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers, who played on Monday night, on Christmas night. And yeah, they lived up to the expectation, and it was a fun game to watch. It's probably one of the best game all week. Just yeah, tough for Brock Purdy throwing 4 interceptions, and uh, yeah, it's just tough when you throw 4 interceptions against a team like with Lamar Jackson. Then yeah, you're probably going to be losing that game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ravens end up dominating this one, 33-19. So Ravens have the best record in the NFL, sitting at 12-3, and 49ers fall to 11-4 with pretty much 4 or 5 other teams in the NFL with that record.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christian McCaffrey has another 100-yard game and a touchdown on the ground. And then also had, yeah, 28 yards through the air. So, I mean, Christian McCaffrey should definitely still be in contention for MVP. I think Brock Purdy's MVP odds went way down,
Way
and
down. Yeah.
Lamar's went not way up because he was already up there, but he's sitting at first spot for MVP
Mm-hmm.
now. But we'll see how the next two games go. But yeah, Lamar's looking good. 45 yards on the ground and 250 through the air, and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, Zay Flowers looks like a dog too. I like how he
Hmm.
plays. And then Isaiah likely stepping up big time for the absent Mark Andrews. So
He
yeah,
is that.
solid win for the Ravens on Monday Night Football on Christmas. Yeah, and give the Ravens probably or the 49ers probably one of their worst losses of the season. But it was a fun game to watch. A lot of back and forth, a lot of helmet hitting and all that good stuff. So it was a fun game to watch, but
Yeah.
uh, wasn't wasn't a game for the 49ers. Ravens pull away with this one. So
Yeah, and Ravens have a. I mean, we'll get into it. Obviously, we're getting on to week 17, but the Ravens have another big game next week. It's another big statement game that if they win this one, you can kind of tell who is the best team in the NFL. I think. They play the Dolphins next week, so
yeah,
uh, that's a huge game. And yeah, well, let's get into week 17.
hell yeah. Yeah, so week 17 starting off on Thursday night. Tomorrow night here. You have the Jets heading to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns, who have been rolling with Joe Flacco, and Jets starting Trevor Siemian again this week for quarterback and everything. So who do you got in this one? Cleveland has a 7.5 point spread at home.
I got the Browns. Just the way they've been playing. Um, like you said, yeah, Joe Flacco's a beast. He's going back to his old team. I think he played for the Jets last year. I think he was a backup for the Jets last year.
Yeah, I think he was a quarterback coach too.
Possibly, I mean, maybe both. I don't know, but I know he played for the Jets either a year ago or 2 years ago. I think
Mm-hmm.
behind when they drafted Zach Wilson. I think he was their kind of that QB mentor. But
Yep.
yeah, I get the Browns for sure. Hopefully, they get David Njoku more involved. I know last game he wasn't the hot target, but
No, but he
um,
did have a touchdown still.
yep, he had a touchdown. But I like to see him get the ball a lot more. But obviously, if they can get a win, like I said, the Browns are a team that are going to be in the playoffs. And they may win a game. I'm not going to promise anything, but um, they're going to be in the playoffs no matter what, I think.
Scary team to play in the playoffs too, just with their
Yeah.
defense and the way Joe
That's
Flacco's been playing. I mean, they're putting up 30 points a game. I mean, in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. So I mean, yeah, they've been playing well. Defense is outstanding. Yeah, I have the Browns in this one too at home. Tough to go to the dog pound, especially if you're the Jets and don't even know who your quarterback is and stuff like that.
right.
Um, so yeah, give me the Browns in this one. Pretty dominant victory over the Jets here. But don't discount the Jets defense. Their defense is pretty solid
Defense is
too.
good. I think the defense is what's won them a lot of these games. Obviously, Zach Wilson's had a few phenomenal performances, one-offs, like maybe two or three this past season or
Against
this
the Bills, against
mm-hmm.
the Bills the first week, and then he had another game against like a good team too, where he was just
Yeah,
dropping
I
dimes.
think that was a game he came back after he was benched
Yep,
and he threw for over 300 yards passing.
yep,
Um, but yeah, don't discount them. But I do think the Browns will. Maybe it might be a tight game, but it just depends if the Jets defense can stop the Cleveland offense.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And then so yeah, that one's on Thursday night, and then Saturday night you have the Detroit Lions heading down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. 11-4 Lions, 10-5 Cowboys, and Dallas has a 6 point spread at home on this one, and we all know what they can do at home. I think they're sitting at like 16 games straight at home,
Mm-hmm.
over 30 points. So yeah, who do you got in this one?
That's a tough one for me, just because Lions fans are, they're pumped because they got their first ever. They clinched the NFC North for how I don't know what you said, how
30
long?
years, yeah,
3 years.
1993, and it wasn't
Um,
even the NFC North; it was the NFC Central. So they didn't
yeah,
even have this
yeah,
divisions, but
yeah. Um, like you said, yeah, 16 games or whatever it is in a row for the Cowboys at home. I'm gonna stay with the Cowboys. Um, and tough loss last week to Miami, but I got to go with the Cowboys.
yeah, I think the Cowboys are. What did I hear? I think they were 9-1 after coming off a loss or something like that. I think they're
Yeah, so
nine. The record's like
it's
nine
even
and one
better
coming off a
statistic
loss.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys as well, especially at home. The way they've been balling at home, they're just so much faster on their turf in Dallas than any other team. Yeah, so give me the Cowboys in this one over the Lions, and we could both use a loss from the Lions, even though they've already clinched and they're just like 5 games ahead of us right now. But
Hmm.
a loss is still a loss, and it helps us out a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, give me the Cowboys in this one. And there was only one Saturday game this week.
What time
But
is that
yeah,
at?
that's at 7, the Saturday night game.
Okay. Yeah.
So no games during the day, but we do get a Saturday night game. So we get Thursday, then bowl games starting up this week too.
Yeah, there's been
Some
bowl games throughout. I believe this whole week. I know there's a few today. I know there's a few yesterday.
Yeah, but the big ones are coming up this weekend.
Hmm.
And then you have the that playoff matchup on January 1st. You have Alabama and Michigan, and then you have Texas and Washington. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun action this weekend. Getting ready for the college football championship. So the playoffs are starting this week and then the championship next week or a couple weeks, I think. So but yeah, so we got Thursday and then bowl games on Friday and Saturday. Then we have the Saturday NFL game, and then moving on to Sunday, you have the New England Patriots traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Patriots at 4-11, Bills at 9-6, and Buffalo has a 13-point spread against the Patriots at home on this one. Who do you got?
Now I got to go Buffalo. I know this is kind of like a rivalry, but I'm gonna go Buffalo. The way they've been playing. I know they barely squeaked one out last week, but I think they're kind of heading in the right direction as far as getting a spot in the playoffs and then continuing that that momentum into the playoffs. So I'm gonna go Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills as well. It's gonna be closer than that 13-point spread for sure. Bill Belichick. I mean, I don't have any stats against the spread for Bill, but his defense is solid. Yeah, Patriots. Yeah, but if they keep playing, Zeke keeps running well. Bailey Zappi keeps slinging it like he has been. It's going to be closer than 13 points, but I still got the Bills in this one for sure at home.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to play. It's cold as shit up there, especially with the weather starting
Hmm.
to circle around. We got snow here. I guess it wasn't snow; it was more sleet and ice. But it
Got
was
snow
snowing.
tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was snowing on the way home from work and everything like that. So um, just imagine it's going to be snowing up in Buffalo there. So yeah, give me the Bills in this one over the Patriots. But like I said, I think it's going to be closer than that 13-point
Yeah,
spread.
I agree. I agree.
And then yeah, next game on Sunday you have the Atlanta Falcons heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. And we talked about kind of mentioned this one. Um, Bears are looking good. Falcons, ah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of them just yet, but they did put up some numbers last week. Chicago has a 3-point spread at home on this one. So Falcons 7-8, Bears 6-9, 3-point spread for Chicago at home. Who do you got?
So I was just looking at because you were correct about the Packers. Yeah, the Steelers have to beat. That's one of the games that increases their odds, and also is the Bears and Falcons game. The Bears need to win this game
Yep.
to increase their odds as well. So um, I'm I'm gonna pick the teams I want to win, and I think they do have a good shot. But I'm gonna go Bears here, just because that falls in the Packers' favor, and just the way they've been playing, it's kind of impressive. But Falcons looks good, so this should be a hard fought game, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be probably just a low scoring game, just field goals, maybe a touchdown. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Falcons. They just seem to always pull one out or lose by a field goal or something like that.
Yeah,
And yeah, with Justin Fields and you have DJ Moore, and then with Khalil Herbert back and healthy, I think the Bears got this one as well. So I'm gonna go Bears as well at home on this one.
and I think like you said, Falcons playing a dome, I believe. I'm pretty sure. And then
Yep.
uh, Chicago, Midwest, so it's gonna be cold there too. So playing in that weather and just coming off Lake Michigan, it's cold there, windy. So
Yeah.
yeah, weather's gonna play a big factor these next few games for a lot of teams that play outside if they do have home field advantage. So yeah.
100%. Yeah. 100%. But yeah, I like the Bears in this one. Beating the Falcons, like you said, it helps both of our odds out if
Mm,
the Falcons lose and stuff like that. So yeah, give me the Bears in this one as well. And then you have the Las Vegas Raiders heading to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Raiders are sitting at 7-8, and Colts are sitting at 8-7. But Indy does have a 3.5-point spread at home against the Raiders. Who do you got?
yeah, another tough one.
Another tough one.
Another tough fought game, but um,
And this is kind of for playoff implications too, because they'd both be
yeah,
sitting at 8-8, and then the head-to-head. So
I really want to. And the Raiders played good last week, so um, I'm gonna go Raiders in Indy.
yeah, I think I'm just following your lead since you went 13-3 last week. I'm gonna go Raiders as well. Their post-game interview with Antonio Pierce, he got a little emotional with that win against Kansas City. And I think everyone's buying in or has bought in already with Antonio Pierce as their head coach. They just have a different vibe since their coach left, McDaniel, or what's his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, McDaniel.
So yeah, I think Raiders just have a different vibe. Colts, I mean, they're still in the playoff picture too, though, and they've been playing well with Gardner as their backup. But Michael Pittman was out last week, could have played a factor in that loss. Without not having him in the lineup. But they do have Jonathan Taylor back. But I do think the Raiders defense has really stepped it up this last couple weeks. Yeah, I think the Raiders
Crosby. Yeah.
yeah, I think the Raiders defense wins them this game here. So yeah, give me the Raiders on the road in this one over the Indianapolis Colts, even though it is at home for the Colts, but we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. And it is loud there too. So yeah, give me the Raiders in this one. And then you have the Los Angeles Rams traveling to New York to take on the Giants. It's actually in New Jersey at MetLife, but yeah, Rams and Giants on Sunday at noon. Rams have a 5.5 point spread on the road in this one. Giants put up a good fight against the Eagles, and Rams got a dub on Thursday night over the Saints, and they looked good against the Saints too. So yeah, who do you got in this one?
So it's another one that would help out both the Vikings and the Packers.
If the
But
Giants
obviously, you
beat
need the
them.
Giants to win.
Yep.
And I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go with the Rams to win this. I don't see. I know Tyrod Taylor's going to be the starting quarterback, and he's probably going to play pretty well. But like you mentioned, the Rams played pretty well last week. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, Rams have played good this last like 3 or 4 weeks with Matt Stafford slinging the ball. Cooper Kupp's healthy, Puka Nacua. Um, yeah, and then Kyron Williams running the ball, averaging 100 yards in the last like 4 games. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough to stop the Rams, and yeah, they're looking good. I mean, they could be back in the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford's been there. Their whole team's pretty much been there,
Mhm.
except for their rookies like Puka and
Yeah.
Tutu Atwell. But I mean, yeah, I think give me the Rams in this one on the road. I need to make up some games, so I'm trying to find some games that I want to flip flop with you, but I don't see the Giants beating the Rams, even if they're at home. So yeah, give me the Rams in this one to beat the Giants. And then you have another noon o'clock game. You have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Philly. I know we mentioned this one earlier when we were talking about Phillies last week. But yeah, Cardinals sitting at 3-12, Eagles at 11-4. And then Eagles at home have a 10.5 point spread. Who do you got?
I think this is a no-brainer. Eagles have to make bounce back and have a big win here, and I think they could because the Cardinals aren't good at all. I'm gonna go Eagles at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles at home too. I don't know if there's much conversation to be had about this one. Um, yeah, Eagles need this win. Um, and then I mean they already have a playoff spot clinched, but I mean to lose to the Cardinals heading into the last week of the season, it's not the confidence you want, and
Right.
all that good stuff. But yeah, DeAndre Swift had a good game last week. Kind of snaps his like 6 game slump where he didn't have a touchdown or over like 50 yards. Then you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith have been balling out. And Cardinals don't really have much besides James Conner and maybe Trey McBride, and then Kyler Murray at quarterback. But it looks like they're tanking. They got like the third overall pick or second overall pick, something like
Mhm.
that. Right now, if the season ended, they would have the second overall pick behind the Bears, who got it from the Panthers, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, give me the Eagles in this one at home. Tough place to play, and I don't think Cardinals have the firepower to knock off the Eagles. So yeah, give me the Eagles in this one. And then you have another noon o'clock game. This one is playoff implications. This is a divisional game. You have the New Orleans Saints traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Saints are at 7-8. Buccaneers at 8-7. Same division. But Tampa Bay has a 2.5 point spread on the or at home on this one. This could be a tough game for the Bucks facing the Saints. But who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Baker. Just the way he's been playing these past few weeks. Um, yeah, he's had two phenomenal games back to back. Um,
Yeah,
and I think yeah, they got. I mean, it's kind of you know, um, you know, gives you a lot of energy. and motivation to continue winning when you're leading your division, which they are, and they are in the playoffs, sitting at that 4 seed, like you mentioned. I think they're going to continue to win, and I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well. I think they're gonna continue that 4 game win streak. And yeah, Baker's been balling out. He has 10 touchdowns and 1 interception in the last 4 games on this winning streak. So if he can take care of the ball, Mike Evans stay healthy, Chris Godwin stay healthy, and Rashid White, the
Yeah.
running back, has been balling out too. So and then their defense, they have Levante David and Devin White
Hmm.
at the linebacker positions, and they're pretty young in the secondary, but yeah, they've been playing well. No team has scored. I guess Atlanta scored 25 on them 3 weeks ago, but no team over 20 points in the last 4 weeks besides the Falcons there. So, I mean, yeah, defense is playing well. Baker's been slinging the ball. I'm gonna go with the Bucks at home on this one. So yeah, give me the Bucks at home. Alrighty. And then you have the San Francisco 49ers coming off that loss to the Ravens, heading over to the capital of the United States and face the Washington Commanders in Maryland. So yeah, you have San Francisco 49ers sitting at 11-4, facing the Washington Commanders at 4-11. San Francisco has a 13-point spread on the road in this one. Who do you got?
I think this is kind of like a no-brainer, just like the Eagles Cardinals game. You have the two teams in the NFC have pretty easy games, which they need. Just the way they've been playing. Yeah, I got 49ers easy, and I do think Commanders aren't bad. They can put up a lot of points, but I think 49ers. I don't think they cover that spread. I'm gonna take them.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers. Well, not much really to think about here. Um, but I think they do cover that spread. I think they come out and say, hey, last game wasn't a fluke. I mean, it was a great game. Just with those 4 interceptions from Brock Purdy hurt him real bad. But I mean, I think they come out and just dominate the Commanders and end up winning by like 18 points or something like that. I think they come out and have a statement game and cover that spread. So yeah, give me the 49ers in this one over the Washington Commanders. Commanders are probably just looking to get a good pick this year, so I think
Yeah,
they're
no doubt.
probably going to tank here to end the season. But yeah, give me the Commanders in that one. And then you have another noon o'clock game. We have about 7 or 8 noon o'clock games this week. You have the Carolina Panthers sitting at 2-13, heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. We're on a 3 game losing streak, or the one lost 3 out of the last 4, something like that. No, I think they are on a 4 game losing streak for sure. But yeah, Jaguars sitting at 8-7, but they do have a 6.5 point spread at home against the Panthers. And Panthers put up a scary fight against the Packers. They put up 30 points. So we'll see what happens here. But who do you got?
Just with the Panthers, them playing that's kind of like a win for them. They're gonna good draft pick. Actually, they're not. They're trading the draft pick away, but they put up 30 points. That's a kind of a W for them because they're not going to make the playoffs no matter what. Um,
Right.
and Jacksonville having, like you said, that 4 game losing streak. I think Jacksonville at home has to bounce back, so I'm going to take Jacksonville at home.
Yeah, I need a couple games where I flip flop with you, but I'm not going to do this one. I'm going to take the Jaguars as well. Um, I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence is out. Let's see what their depth chart looks like because I don't even know who would come in and replace Trevor Lawrence. CJ Beathard, and I think I knew that he played already this year
Yeah,
when he went out down with that high ankle sprain. But yeah,
yeah.
give me the Jaguars even with CJ Beathard as their quarterback. I still think Jacksonville they need this win to snap that 4 game losing streak, and yeah, this is a must win for the Jaguars to keep their playoff hopes alive and everything like that. So yeah, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars at home in this one. I don't know if they'll cover that spread or not. This is a tricky game to kind of to pick
Hmm.
the spread and everything. I might stay away from this one on the betting aspect if I put any bets down. But yeah, give me the Jaguars in this one at home. So all righty, and then your another noon o'clock game. This is probably gonna be the game of the week. You have the Miami Dolphins sitting at 11-4, traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, sitting at 12-3. Baltimore has a 3.5 point spread at home on this one. Yeah, who do you got?
I'm gonna stick with the Ravens. Like I have that. Like mention this every week I have, and they continue to win. So I'm gonna go Baltimore, and they're at home. I think that's
Yeah.
why that spreads the way it is. They get a little bit of an advantage, but I'm gonna go Baltimore.
Yeah, the Dirty Birds in the cage. Yeah, tough place to play. Um, but good solid win for the Dolphins over the Cowboys last week, and they need these dubs. I mean, they haven't, like everyone's talking, they haven't beat any good team.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, coming off that win against the Cowboys last week, I think they keep that momentum rolling into week 17, and I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one over the Ravens. I think the Dolphins need this win, especially to show the AFC that they're real contenders. And yeah, with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's questionable, but he should be playing. He's a tough dog.
Yeah.
Then Raheem Mostert, Devon Achan, all those players on the Miami Dolphins. Marlon Humphrey, though, for the Ravens had a good game last night or Monday night.
Hmm.
And then number 44, I forget
Yeah, I
forget
know what you're
what.
talking about too. He had 2 picks, I think.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
linebacker, I think.
yeah.
But him and Murphy, or yeah, Marlon
Humphrey.
Humphrey were all over the field
Yep.
against the 49ers. So I mean, if they can play the way they did last week, um, and cause Tua to throw a couple interceptions, Ravens might get this one. But yeah, I'm gonna go Dolphins on the road in this one. I like the Dolphins team. They're fast, they're young. Yeah, give me the Dolphins in this one. Alrighty. And then the last noon o'clock game for Sunday, we have the Tennessee Titans traveling down to Houston to face the Texans. Titans sitting at 5-10, Texans sitting at 8-7. AFC conference game, but doesn't really mean anything for the Titans. But Texans need this dub, and they have a 5 point spread at home in this one. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Texans. Is Will Levis even playing for the Titans?
I don't think
Uh,
so.
okay, I don't. Why I wouldn't play them the rest of the year, to be honest, since they've already been eliminated. But yeah, I'm gonna go Texans at home. Not much to say about this game. Yeah, it's a big game that they need to win. Um, I think CJ Stroud will show up and play well and win that game for him.
Yeah, he's questionable, still coming off I think
Hmm.
concussion protocol or something like that.
I think that's what.
Um, but yeah, if he's playing, I think that yeah, I think that Houston gets the dub. They need this dub, especially keep their playoff hopes alive. So I'm gonna go Houston as well in this one over the Titans. But Titans played well last week. Kind of dove into their bag with some trick plays. So if they pull a couple of those out and get a couple of touchdowns, this one could be a lot closer than what I say the spread was 6.5, 5.5, or something like that. 5 points
I
for
got five, but five to the
yeah,
Texans.
yeah, I think it was five. So it could be closer than 5 points. Could come down to a last second field goal by Fairbairn again. But I think the Texans do get this one at home. So yeah, give me Houston, uh, down in Houston. Alrighty. And then moving on to the afternoon games, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Both sitting at 8-7. And like you said, this helps out. If the Steelers get the dub, could bump up the Vikings and the Packers up into a better playoff contention there. But Seattle does have a 3.5 point spread on this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one's the one I'm going to pick. Just help out the Packers. I'm gonna go Steelers. I'm not. I think Mason Rudolph will probably start again, um, and then I do think that I hope that George Pickens plays the way he did last week, and just ball out. It's gonna be a tough game. Seattle's a good, tough team, so um, teams are gonna have to come to play. Especially the Steelers are gonna have to come to play. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually gonna try to get a game back here. I think the Seattle Seahawks are a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially with if they stay healthy with DK and uh, Kenneth Walker. He had a game last week,
Hmm.
and then Tyler Lockett and everything, and Geno Smith. Yeah, give me the Seattle Seahawks in this one. I need to make a couple games back up, and it's at home, so it's a tough place to play uh, for Pittsburgh. So yeah, give me Seattle at home on this one. This is a big game for both the NFC and AFC playoff picture, but I do think Seattle gets the dub in this one, so I'm gonna go
Hmm.
with Seattle. And then you have Denver Broncos hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. Division rivalry. You got the Chargers sitting at 5-10, Broncos at 7-8. Chargers have been eliminated, but it is a divisional game, and they don't want to see the Broncos make the playoffs, I don't think. But Denver has a 3.5 point spread in this one. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Chargers just because Russell Wilson's not gonna be playing.
Yep.
They're sticking with who? Trevor Simeon, or who was
Uh, no,
not
Trevor
Trevor?
Simeon's with the Jets.
Yeah, who is
Um,
their backup? It's a name that they've played. They've been a backup and played before. I'm gonna go Chargers.
yeah, it's Jarrett Stidham.
Stidham, yep, Stidham, yep. I'm gonna go
Jarrett's,
Chargers here. I think they're gonna get a win. They need it. They don't need it, but like they need it for their confidence, for their players, their coaches. They need to get a win. So
yeah, and then I think you also have Easton Stick starting at quarterback for the Chargers, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I know he played last week, but I don't know if Justin Herbert's on IR, so he won't be back the
Yep.
rest of the
No, no,
season.
no.
So Easton Stick will be your starter, and yeah, give me Easton Stick. He played well 2 weeks ago, and then he also played well last week, almost knocking off the Bills 24-22. But yeah, so give me the Chargers in this one as well. I'll take the Chargers, and you got the Chargers.
Yep, yep.
Solid end to the lucky for the Chargers end of the season if they can get that dub, but yeah, it doesn't mean anything as
Mm-hmm.
far as playoff hopes go, but could build some confidence and take care of that over to the 2024-25 season, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, let's see what else we got on the board. We got two more games left. We have the
Bengals
Cincinnati
at the Chiefs.
Bengals traveling to KC to take on the Chiefs. Uh, Bengals coming off did they lose last year? I think they
They did lose last week.
to Pittsburgh, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bengals coming off a loss to Pittsburgh and then Chiefs coming off a loss to the Raiders. So both coming off losses. Um, Bengals need this dub, and so do the Chiefs. Bengals need a little bit more for their playoff contention, but KC needs to snap this losing streak and try to eliminate as much frustration heading into the postseason. But KC has a 7 point spread at home in this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go KC. I think. Well, I'm hoping that Travis Kelce balls out. Hopefully Patrick Mahomes gets control of his offensive line. And hopefully all of them can keep their composure and get a big win here. So I'm gonna go Chiefs at home.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs at home in this one. This one has been like kind of the AFC championship game where you have the Bengals and the Chiefs like the last 2 or 3 years
Yep.
against Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes. But now you have Browning versus Patrick Mahomes. So we'll see how this one ends up playing out. But I still think the Chiefs, yeah, they need to change something. They need to get a W pretty bad
Yeah.
to kind of turn this thing around heading into the postseason. So I like the Chiefs in this one at home as well. So give me the Chiefs at home, even though they lost four games at home this season, which is unheard of. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, give me the Chiefs at home on this one. And then moving on to Sunday night division game, you have the Green Bay Packers traveling to US Bank to take on the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be the ninth appearance of the Packers versus the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, which moves them into the top five matchups on Sunday Night Football. So kind of setting some records here for this rivalry, if you want to put it at that. But yeah, 7-8 Packers versus 7-8 Vikings. This is a huge game for both teams for their playoff hopes and everything like that. And then Minnesota has a 2 point spread just because they're probably playing at home. Surprised this line isn't even the way the Packers and the Vikings been playing, but yeah, get a little bit of an advantage at home. So 2 point advantage, 2 point spread for the Vikings at home. But who do you got?
Obviously
Yeah, I know.
Packers. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Packers. But I think that if Aaron Jones played pretty well. He had a few big runs right off the bat
Yeah, had
last week.
120 yards. Yeah.
Christian Watson, if he's back, kind of hurt us last week not having him. Yeah, like you mentioned, Jair Alexander suspended one game. That's going to hurt just because usually he'd be guarding JJ. We have two rookie seventh round corners that will be having to guard JJ, but I'm sure we'll do some kind of stun or double team to get him covered up as just because you don't have what's his name, tight end.
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson. So that'll free us up a little bit to have somebody help out guarding JJ. But I'm gonna go Packers here. then I can already assume what you're gonna pick or who you're gonna
Yeah,
pick.
I'm going Vikings at home in this one. Huge game. I mean, we
Huge.
beat the Packers earlier this year, 24-10. Need to have this dub to end the series between the Vikings and the Packers. We need to sweep them this season to even have any hopes at the playoffs. And then yeah, we need to beat the Lions the following week. So I don't know who we're starting at quarterback. Nick Mullins with 4 interceptions. We'll probably start Jaron Hall.
It looked like,
Um,
yeah, you're going, I think, back to Jaron Hall, but
or Josh Dobbs. Yeah, we've been doing the quarterback carousel the last 5 weeks ever since Kirk Cousins goes down. Probably longer than that. Probably the last 8 weeks. I think Kirk
mm.
Cousins got hurt week 8, and
Well,
we're
then
already
Josh Dobbs started four games right off the gate.
yeah,
Did pretty
yeah.
well.
And
So
then Jaron Hall started a game, and then you had Nick Mullins start a couple games. So, I mean, yeah, we've been doing the quarterback carousel, but I do like the Minnesota Vikings at home in this one. Hopefully the crowd comes ready to hype up the Vikings and it's not a blowout, but I can see it going either way. I can see it being a close game, or I can see the Packers just getting off to an early start and beating the Vikings. But
it'll be close. And yeah, there's a lot of people going to be there. Probably a lot of people that we know just because it is New Year's.
yep.
So a lot of people do have Monday off, so it's an easy game to go to and not have to miss any work. And it's a short drive for everybody in Sioux Falls. So
Yeah.
it should be a good game. I hope it's a really good game. Hopefully, yeah, the Packers pull it away. But I just want a good game too. I want a very competitive game. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, I like that it's prime time Sunday night instead of a noon o'clock game.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more hype to it. It's gonna feel definitely like a playoff game for sure.
Hmm.
And everything like that. But yeah, I like the Vikings in this one. So yeah, give me the Vikings over the Packers at home to wrap up week 17 of the NFL. So yeah, a lot of games, playoff implications, teams need a lot of wins. Or some teams need these wins. Other teams are eliminated, and then other teams have clinched the playoff. But every game matters here in the regular season. So last 2 weeks of the NFL season
Hmm.
are upon us. So it's been a fun ride doing NFL and all that good stuff. But we'll probably be moving on to basketball and college basketball and all that fun stuff after the season wraps up. But at least we have about 4 or 5 more weeks into February
Yeah,
before.
yeah, January or no, February, like the second week, or it's February 13th or 11th.
Yeah, I think it's February
Super Bowl.
4th. Yeah, February. I think it's on Valentine's Day this year, February
Okay.
14th.
Yeah.
So
So we got 5 or 6 weeks left. So
hell yeah. But yeah, we'll just leave it at NFL until we wrap it up, just because yeah, that's what's going on right now and everything like that. And this is our last episode of Two Confrontational for 2023.
episode
Um,
46.
Yep. So we're ending 2023 with a bang, and got my champagne glasses going on here. So yeah, that wraps it up for episode number 46 of Two Confrontational. Happy New Year to everybody.
Sure. Happy New Year.
Celebrate accordingly and all that good stuff. And yeah, let's have 2024 be the best year yet. We got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, in 2024, it's going to be a fun year. We're going to do the March Madness thing again in a few months, and all that good stuff. But yeah, we're going to keep going hard on NFL until February, until the Super Bowl and all that good stuff. So yeah, big week 17 for a lot of teams and everything like that. A lot of playoff implications at
Oh
hand.
yeah.
So teams need dubs and things of that nature to see if they can make that push into the postseason. But yeah, that wraps it up for episode number 46 of Two Confrontational. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, and that does it for me. You got anything else?
No, that is it. Go Pack, go.
Alrighty, guys. Well, Happy New Year. Like I said, celebrate accordingly. And we'll see you guys next week in 2024 on Two Confrontational. Until then, peace.